If you believe that God does what he says he does, that he created the world from nothing, everything that exists, he created from nothing. If you believe that he's done the amazing miracles that he's done, like splitting the Red Sea in two, or making the sun stand still, or healing diseases that of which there is no known cure, or that he raised Jesus from the dead, if you believe that God has done all of those things, then why don't you pray like it? Why don't you pray like God could do immeasurably more than all we could ever ask or imagine? Do we limit God in our prayers? Or do our prayers reveal that we have put limits on our God? Or do you pray like Elijah? Elijah was a guy just like you and I, and he prayed boldly and he prayed big. He prayed that it wouldn't rain on the land, and it didn't rain for 3.5 years. And then he prayed that it would rain again, and it did rain. God took his prayers into account. God made his prayers a part of the historical record. And we are just like Elijah. We are humans just like him. He was a prophet, but he was a sinful human just like you and I. And his prayers were effective because he had God's promise. In James chapter 5, it says, "The prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective." Now, when it says that, it says a righteous man. Who is a righteous man? Well, someone who has been washed by the blood of Jesus. Of course, no one on their own is righteous. This is not talking about some person who is just morally upright. This is talking about someone who's been washed in Jesus' blood, who's been forgiven of all of their sins. That is a righteous person, a righteous man. The prayers of a righteous man are powerful and effective. God takes your prayers into account. Now, you might be thinking, well, I have prayed for big things. I have prayed for a lot of things, and sometimes it doesn't really seem like I'm getting an answer at all. Think about this. If you could see behind the scenes, if God lifted the curtain and allowed you to take a step back and see all of the ways that he has taken your prayers into account and how he weaved those prayers into the great story of your life and of the world, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how he listened to your prayer. You'd be amazed at how he took your prayer into account and how he did for you and the people around you and for the world what was in their eternal interest, what was for their ultimate good. So, pray. Pray big. Pray expecting God to do big things because he has given you a promise, and you can trust that promise.